Hey, I'm Justin Ridge, Director of Blount County Schools, and we're here at the Samuel Everett School of Innovation. We're starting a series on an instructional focus, and today's focus is on math instruction. So I'm here with longtime veteran teacher, Deidre Ervin, who has been at multiple Blount County schools, and she is going to talk a little bit about what her methods and her instruction looks like in math. SESI was level 5 in numeracy and growth this year and has had a really strong past few years in math and growth in achievement. So, Ms. Ervin, what are the keys to success here at the Samuel Everett School of Innovation when it comes to math?
Well, a couple of things is that our teachers have buy-in with a lot of people use the term growth mindset, and growth mindset is just your thoughts about how students learn. But most of our teachers, all of our teachers, have bought into this concept of learning is not stagnant. Learning is this cycle that we go through all the time. And if you don't succeed, there's a yet there. We haven't learned this yet. We haven't mastered this yet. But it's very important that we get in there and look as to why. If I have a student that was struggling with a quadratic equation and we went and looked back at what they were doing and realized, oh, they understood the quadratic equation, but they had a rounding issue. So that attention to detail about the why so that we can correct those little mistakes, that is huge. So we have buy-in from the teachers. We also had to have buy-in from the students. Students had to break that mindset as that it's the teacher's job to spew all of this math at me and I'm just supposed to absorb it. We are partners with our students here. Our students are involved in the learning process. They've learned to have a want to know, and they don't worry about the grade, they worry about the learning. They will come to you and say, I'm not satisfied that I didn't understand this, this, and this. Can I come back and let's do some more work? Can I do some more work and remediate and then reassess that skill?
So, Ms. Ervin, a lot of students will tell you, even some teachers will tell you, I'm not good at math. Almost like they don't have a choice. How do we change that mindset? How do you change that mindset with your students? Because I know I've seen kids come in saying those kind of things, and then a few months later they're saying the opposite and they're actually leading within the classroom.
Well, this is not something that I came up with on my own. I actually read a book and took a class, Mathematical Mindsets by Joe Bowler. I actually was really pushy about it in Blount County Schools and asked the director of schools to let me come and speak to the other principals and other teachers. And we've been trying to get the word out about changing that mindset for mathematics, because students will say, well, I'm not good at math. I got it from my parents. It's genetic. No, it's not. But the way they feel about themselves in a math classroom is based on their experiences that they've had. So we have to change that mindset and change their experience. When I was first started this journey, I was teaching 7th grade at Carpenter's Middle School, and I would have students say, are you allowed to do this? Are you allowed to let us retake a test and redo things that we didn't understand? Absolutely, because the goal is for learning. And students now stop asking me, is this for a grade? They're like, no, it's for learning. Everything we do is for learning. And once they get that, adopt that mindset, and they also adopt the mindset of, I am wanting to look at the kind of mistake I've made. Is it clerical? Is it procedural? So that they can correct that mistake. They then adopt this healthy attitude about, yes, I can do this. My brain is totally capable of doing this. I just got to rewire my thinking about it.
That's a great point of changing that mindset. How does your standards-based grading process play into that here at SESI?
Okay, so at Sam Everett, in math, we have a standards-based grading. A 4 is like a 100 if you were looking at traditional grades. It means that the student has mastered the skill to the level that they could explain it to someone else and they can actually apply that skill to advanced level problems. A 3 means they've mastered the skill at the level that they would be tested on, like in TN Ready scores or EOC. A 2 means that they have an understanding of the skill, but they maybe need some more practice with it to raise their understanding and mastery of it. And a 1, or maybe they didn't master it all and maybe they didn't get anything correct on that section of the test, means that they don't have it yet. And we go then and investigate why. We always look, students are showing their work, we look at the why so that we can see how to fix it. Just like if you were in a doctor's office, the doctor is going to do imaging and tests to see why so they know how to treat you. So, and students do not get upset when they maybe receive a score of a 1. They're just like, okay, can I come in, let's work on it. Like, we've adopted that mindset, our students have adopted that mindset. It's very helpful to have. And that is something we hope they carry over into all of their classes and into the rest of their life, because that's the way life is, okay? We have to grow and look at our mistakes and work.
I think that another key there is the focus of the teachers and the students on the learning, not the grade. Especially in high school, students get caught up too much on the grade. Teachers use grades for different purposes. You know, I'm assuming you're only grading the assessment.
Yes, and our assessments are set up so that I have a particular skill that I'm looking for, and they get 4 questions on that skill, going from the entry level to the most advanced kind of question. And then maybe I'll test another skill. They usually have 2 to 3 skills tested on a test, so maybe their tests are at the most 12 questions long. They're very specific. So in doing that, the students are very centered on that goal. But everything else that they do throughout the week is for learning. And a lot of teachers will say, well, if it's not for a grade, how do you get them to do it? They won't pass their test and they won't master the skill if they don't do the learning process. And the students just buy into it and they do it.
So Ms. Ervin, you know, obviously SESI is a different model school. Students go 1 day a week. You know, if I'm at a traditional school where I have students 5 days a week, you know, how can I apply some of these same methods and essentially accomplish the same goal of getting the students to own their learning, want to redo assignments, and ultimately just learn the material in that setting?
Well, I actually started this mindset and practicing these procedures and skills even before I was teaching at SESI. I was at middle school. I taught 7th grade math forever. And then also I was at high school, Heritage High School, teaching Algebra 1. And so I had already started on that journey. It's doable in a regular classroom. Sometimes teachers have to let go of some of the norms that they've been used to for a long, long time, but that's okay, because that's what growth and learning is about. You can configure your classroom so that you could pick 1 day a week that's going to be maybe your remediation and your reassessment. There's lots of other schools that are jumping into that area, and so there's some research out there. I would advise any teacher that's interested in this to call me up anytime, not just me. There's other teachers at our school that would love to sit down with students or teachers that are teaching in traditional classrooms and see if we can, you know, let them pick our brain and see if there's a way to reconfigure things. But the main thing is that they have to build that relationship with their students, that their students understand that your grade is not just your grade, we're focusing on learning. And learning is the most important part. And then we have to correct some of our ideas about things that we do in class and how we grade things.
Ms. Ervin, thank you for having this conversation. Hopefully it will be beneficial to teachers and principals that are able to view it. Thank you for being part of this series, and I hope you have a great school year.
Thank you.